want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hey everybody, it's Chris Bumbray here again for JoBlo.com from CinemaCon in Las Vegas. I just walked out of the last CinemaCon presentation for Lionsgate. Now, if you see me holding a football, it's because it's from one of the movies they're promoting, American Underdog, signed by Kurt Warner. It's pretty cool. I don't know anything about football. But anyway, that was one of the movies that they were promoting, his life story. It's a faith-based film with Zachary Levi. The CinemaCon presentation was, I think, lower key than some of the other ones. The footage I think that most people were excited about coming out of this was definitely the unbearable weight of massive talent, which stars, of course, Nicolas Cage in perhaps his most challenging role to date, playing Nicolas Cage. So in this movie, he's kind of playing a heightened version of himself. He's suffering from some career depression, not getting the roles that he wants, so he decides to hang it all up. However, his agent, played by Neil Patrick Harris, books him for a gig where for $1 million, he goes to this guy's birthday party. So the guy happens to be Pedro Pascal, who's unbelievably wealthy, and he's got a whole museum dedicated to Nicolas Cage because Nicolas Cage is his favorite actor. Nicolas Cage visits the museum that he's got, and there's this big wax sculpture of him as Castor Troy in Face Off with the two golden guns. And Cage looks at it and he goes, "It's grotesque. I'll give you $20,000 for it." Immediately wants it. And him and Pascal's character become like best buddies, right? Because Pascal just asking him about his favorite movies and quoting lines to him, and they're doing dueling Nicolas Cage impressions. The two of them just get along really well, so it seems like it's kind of like this bromance. However, the DEA wants to bust him because apparently he's some kind of drug dealer or something, and the DEA agent in charge is played by Tiffany Haddish, who knows nothing about Nicolas Cage and has never seen one of his movies. So they force Cage to go undercover, but the problem is Cage loves the guy. So at one point you see him facing off, guns blazing with Pedro Pascal, and he's pointing his two golden guns from Face Off at him. And Pedro Pascal's like, "Give me back my guns." And he goes, "They're my guns." But then he's like, Pedro Pascal's like, "I don't want to kill you." And then Cage is like, "I don't want to kill you either, buddy." And then they just like, they hug, and they obviously like, it looks pretty funny. It looks very R-rated. I mean, if you love Nicolas Cage, and I think everybody that comes to this site definitely loves Nicolas Cage, this is going to be something to see. I'm pretty psyched to see it. The next big movie that they showed footage from was this movie called Moonfall, which is directed by Roland Emmerich. This one actually shot in my hometown, Montreal, and it stars Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson as astronauts. So there's some kind of storm on the moon, and at the beginning of the movie, they're in a space station that gets hit by some kind of cosmic shrapnel. It's kind of hard to describe. Anyway, Halle Berry ends up knocked unconscious. Patrick Wilson's still conscious and somehow gets them back to Earth, and it picks up years later where literally the moon is falling to Earth. Like that's like just like the title Moonfall, the moon is gonna fall and hit Earth and everybody's gonna die. And somehow I guess Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry are trying to figure out how to stop it. I don't know how you would stop it though if the moon was gonna fall on Earth. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I mean, it's Roland Emmerich. It looks like a fun movie, a lot of action, a lot of a lot of money probably went into it, a ton of CGI. I mean, I tend to like Roland Emmerich's stuff. I wasn't crazy about his last couple movies, but I really like some of the really dumb ones, like The Day After Tomorrow, and and even 2012 has its moments. So I mean, I'll probably go see this one in theaters. It definitely looks right up his alley. Otherwise, they showed kind of a sizzle reel at the end that had just brief snippets of footage. So I guess the one that everybody would be interested in is Eli Roth's Borderlands, which is based on the video game and stars Cate Blanchett. They really didn't give us much to go on with this. Just saw a couple brief glimpses of Cate Blanchett in kind of her wardrobe and with the hair, and it looks like it's got this really stylized color palette, very much like the video game, which looks cool. But there was really nothing to go on. They also mentioned John Wick 4, but they showed one shot of Keanu Reeves firing guns, which I don't even think was from the fourth movie. I think they only just started filming it. We also saw kind of some sizzle reel footage from Shotgun Wedding, starring Jennifer Lopez and Josh Duhamel, not Armie Hammer, because he was replaced at the last minute. And then, a couple of other films, a lot of faith-based stuff. It seems like Lionsgate is going pretty heavily in that direction. That said, their faith-based movies look pretty decent. Zachary Levi is in two of them actually. So he's in American Underdog, which they're really psyched about. They gave us the footballs and they set a December 25th release date. I think they're assuming this is going to be a pretty big crossover hit, and it definitely doesn't look like it emphasizes the faith aspect too much, or not in a way I guess that would be alienating to kind of a more secular audience. And then there's The Unbreakable Boy, which is about a boy with a rare bone disorder and autism who's trying to be educated, and once again Zachary Levi plays his father. And then they have a documentary called The Jesus Music, which is about the Christian rock explosion and the genesis of Christian rock, literally Genesis. I guess that's a good term to choose. So anyway, that's a wrap up for Lionsgate. I think definitely the most exciting footage that I saw was from The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That's definitely right up my alley. So hope you enjoyed our coverage from CinemaCon, because that's a wrap.